Hello, YouTube. It's Carlos the Rook, and I'm bringing you round one of Chess Zone Generations. This is something. Chess Zone is my favorite place to play at, my favorite tournament site. I really love the staff, the ambiance, the players, the atmosphere. You get a lot of elbow room. You're not cramped up in a room. You can like have a lot of space, and it's nice. It's a chess building. Uh, you're not in a hotel or anything like that, so I really enjoy it. And they do a thing what they call generations, where they separate the players by age brackets. So the adults play each other and the children play each other. So they go like that, and then the winner gets the prize money. But this is my first time playing in a generations tournament. I've seen it. I just was out of town for work or something like that, so I wasn't able to get around and get to it. So this is my first generations, and as you know, I've had like six bad tournaments, so I'm looking to try and turn things around. So in the first game, I'm playing against Joe. He's rated at 803, I believe, and I'm 1717 at the time. I was 1847, so I dropped all the way down to 1717. All right, I got white pieces, so I start off with e4. He responds d5, Scandinavian defense. I capture on d5, knight f6. And if you remember last tournament, I played c4 here, I believe, because I couldn't remember my opening prep. So I went over my opening prep, and I know my move now is d4. Knight captures, c4 hitting the knight. Knight comes to f6, and now I bring out knight f3. Another thing I did wrong, I think two Scandinavians ago with this line, I played knight to c3, and the guy came with e5 and just tore me up. So knight f3 stops all the e5. There's nothing, no Budapest type of gambits going on here. And I'm going to play it like a queen's gambit with knight to c3 coming next. Knight c6, knight c3. And here he plays bishop d7. I really didn't like this move. This jumps me up to 1.71, so Stockfish didn't like it either. I thought he should have played bishop g4 or bishop f4, followed by e6, maybe bishop d6, then castle, or bishop b4. Let me see what Stockfish wanted. Looked like Stockfish wanted e6 or e5 or even g6. So e5, it was e5 anyway. Oh wow. It wants e5 anyway. That's interesting. So he played bishop d7. And here it wants me to play d5, hitting at the knight. And I thought about doing it, but I didn't want to overextend my center. So I just went bishop d3. And he played e6. That was a horrible move to me. Because now you just boxing in your light square bishop. And it makes me think of French defense. You got a bad bishop. Why would you box in your own bishop? So here, I went a3. I wanted to keep that dark square bishop from pinning my knight. And he goes bishop d6. I thought it was an okay move, but it provokes c5. The bishop drops back. And now b4. I got excellent space on the queen side. Look at that pawn structure. I got three this way and one that way. That's excellent pawn structure. If I was black, I would be looking for something like a5, trying to get some type of push. I can't see what Stockfish is recommending. Let me move this just a little bit. I still can't see it. Hold on just a second. Move Shrink the board just a little bit so I can see. Okay, there we go. Now I can make the board bigger again. So, all right, Stockfish wants knight d5. Okay, so I think, oh, knight d5 coming in here. He didn't do it right away, but he eventually does do this. Castle, I castle, and he went rook e8. So here I thought his idea, and when we analyzed the game after the tournament, I mean after the game, after the round, and I thought his idea was bishop g7, uh, g6, bishop g7, with the idea of coming here, knight d5, trying to get an e5 break. If he gets e5, his bishop comes to life. He just needs this bishop to come to life. And this bishop is running into a wall here. So if it was on this square coming at this diagonal, that's the weakness. That's the back end of the pawn chain. So here I go bishop c2. And my idea is to bring the queen to d3. Then maybe bishop g5 with the idea of coming in on h7. A basic idea, but I felt it's a plan, you know, and I've always read that a bad plan is better than no plan. So it's a plan, it's a starting point. So he goes knight d5, and I thought that was a good move. He's threatening my knight. I don't want to trade. And the engine recommends b5 here. b5, knight a5. Why won't the knight just take? It wants b5. Hold on, let's go down this tangent. b5. Now it wants knight a5. Why can't the knight just take on c3? Knight captures c3. Queen d3. Threatening this. Top move is knight e4. Queen captures e4. f5. Queen back to d3. And then knight b8. So black is worse here. I mean, yeah. Hold on. White is worse? Oh, it's saying white is worse. Oh yeah, because white lost a piece. So that seemed like a better line than what it was recommending. I don't know. Knight e4 is what I did. I didn't want to trade knights. He goes h6. And here I thought that was totally unnecessary. Once again, g6, bishop f8, reroute the bishop, and come in on this diagonal. It needs to be hitting this diagonal. Reroute the bishop is doing nothing here on e7. It's in the way. You want e5. You need an e5 break. So here I go queen d3. Same plan. And he go bishop f6. And he got the bishop on the diagonal, but it's on the square where I can capture with the knight if I wanted to. But I really don't want to capture it and let his queen out. I thought, nah, I don't want to do that. So instead, I went bishop b2, protecting the pawn. Now the pawn protected by 3. And if he tried e5, I can take. The engine doesn't like bishop b2. It wanted knight g3. And here's where things just fell apart for him with b6. I felt like that was totally wrong. And he even asked me afterwards if he could have played something else. And the engine is saying knight on c to e7 or a6 here. Yeah, the engine likes a6. And the problem with b6 is that Okay, the engine wants knight e5 here. I played the fourth best move in the position, b5. And I felt here he got to go back. The knight has to retreat to e7. Then I'm coming c6. The bishop goes to back home to c8. And black is just horrible. It'll be something like this. And that's just horrible for black. Absolutely horrible. You just cramped. Then maybe I do take here. I'm not sure. It wants knight e5. I thought knight e5, but I wasn't sure. Engine wants knight e5 here. Oh, now it's saying knight captures f6 is the top move. They're close, neck and neck. Both of them is 2.61. Okay. But he played knight a5 instead. Now your knight is just stuck on the edge of the board. So I go ahead with c6. And he sacrificed. That surprised me. I didn't think he was going to give the bishop up, but he did. The engine said he should have gave the knight up instead of the bishop. And the reason being, knight captures. I calculated this. Knight captures back. I wasn't sure he was going to catch him with the knight or the queen. But either way, my idea was bishop a4. Now the knight's in jeopardy. If the knight moves, then you lose the exchange of the rook. You already gave up a piece for 2 pawns. Now you're going to lose an exchange also. That would be devastating. So he goes queen d5, protecting the knight. I swing the rook on a over to c8, doubling up the pressure on the knight. And here he done an absolutely amazing thing to me. He just kamikaze the knight. Like, why are you giving the knight away for free? I felt like he should have moved the knight to e7 and just lost the exchange. That's what I would have did. I'd rather lose the exchange than lose a free. Now you're going to lose a free piece and the exchange. So I take the knight. He moves the rook out of the way. And now I skewer the queen and the rook. And it's protected by my rook. So now he loses the exchange anyway. He gave up a piece and still loses the exchange. He go queen over to a2. I capture on a8. Queen captures b2. I come back to b7, hitting the rook. And I thought rook b8. And then I will capture the pawn on c7. But he goes to e8. I capture the pawn. Now my idea is knight e5. And the f7 pawn becomes a weakness. He brings the queen to b4. Not sure what he wanted to do there. Knight comes to e5. Rook f8. Now he wants to get back and block. And now I double up the rooks. Now my idea is I'm going to need g3 so I get some luft on my king. And then just trade off the rooks. And my queen is guarding this diagonal. Once the rook come here, it's setting up a checkmate threat. So he dropped queen b2, rook c8 to trade the rooks, and my queen can always drop here and protect me against a back rank mate. So my queen is on a perfect square. Knight h5, rook captures, king captures, rook captures, rook check drops and checks. Now the king steps up. So here, I thought for a while, I was trying to see if I had a mating net. But I know if I don't have a mating net, I got to make sure if my queen come off this diagonal, I got to make sure I get luff for the king. So I said, why don't I just get luffed anyway and stop the knight from, because he wanted to bring knight here. So I stopped the knight from coming to f4, get luff for my king, and now I can still set up my mating attack. So you go knight f6, bringing the knight back for the defense since it couldn't get to f4. And I go rook c7 check. King d6. He steps into a mating net. Queen c4. Now I'm threatening mate here on f7. Mate here on c6. He got to figure out a way to stop it. Queen A1 check. King to G2. And he moves queen to A5 and he resigns. I had mate in 1. So this was a very good game. I'm off to a good start. Thank you for watching the video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's build up the channel and get it going. Goodbye.